What's up, guys? CryptoSavy here. Hope everybody's having a fabulous Saturday. We're going to take a quick look at Bitcoin, Litecoin, and Ethereum. I am going to show you some targets I'm looking at in Bitcoin also, so make sure you stick around for that. I want to remind you guys, there's a free Discord group in the description below the video. Totally free, guys. Awesome community. Check it out. If you love crypto, you'll love the community. There's also some other affiliate links down there that really help the channel out. Check them out. If you can use them, awesome. If you can't, that's okay too. But let's get on with the video. Alright guys, as always, I want to start out by saying I'm not a financial advisor. This is not financial advice. This is my opinion and my view of the market only. Anybody that's doing any trading or investing in this market, I suggest you do your own due diligence and your own research, as this market is extremely volatile and risky. Also, keep in mind, it's still a speculative market. Do not put in more than you're willing to lose. And with that being said, if you're new here, you haven't already, hit the subscribe button in the lower right hand side of the screen. Tick the notification bell to get you notified when I post new videos. Smash those likes, guys, and leave your comments. That helps out so much you don't even know. It don't cost you anything. All you got to do is click the thumbs up and leave a comment. Let's take a look at it. All right, I'm looking at the BLX chart. And I wanted to point out something real quick, and that's on the 55 EMA, which is the yellow line here. And you can see where we're at right now. I would love to see a close above this, and that's going to be around the $8,000 range. But something I want to point out, as you guys know, I've been looking at this, let's see, this right here as the same area as back over here in 2012. Now I want to show you. We're going to follow that 55 EMA. We're going to start back here. This is where the data actually started on it. So we're going to start back here. And as you can see, we've closed below it. But unless we open and close, we'll follow it all the way down here. Unless we open and close a weekly candle under it, there's really nothing to worry about. Once we open and close, you can see what happens. That's when we get really bearish, but we'll follow it along up here. Same thing, we had no open and closes until right here. Once it opened and closed down, then we had a nice drop. Same thing all the way through. Obviously we had a hard time getting back above it, couldn't get back above it. And right now we are, if we close this weekly below the $8,000 range, that's not the end of the, well, actually it's around 70. Let me zoom in a little bit, see where that's at. That is around the 78.80 range, actually. So if we close below that, it's not the end of the world. The problem would be if we open and close the next weekly, which will be starting Sunday night. If we open and close next week's candle below there, I would say we're most likely going to see those 5,000s and stuff like people were talking about. But again, guys, I don't think that we have to worry about that right now. Let's look at the RSI. As you can see, I have this trend line drawn in here off of these peaks here, and that's exactly what we're resting on, the red line here. Let me get rid of this line. We're resting right on it now. So even if we close down here this week, that wouldn't be a bad sign as long as next week we close above it. So that would also be in line with that 55 EMA. Now, let's look at Bitcoin on the weekly here. I want to remind you guys, my wife's webpage is up, inkyourimage.com. Awesome thing, awesome place to get some Christmas gifts if you'd like. There is lots of crypto stuff. She can put anything you want on any of this stuff, family pictures, whatever. It doesn't have to be crypto, or it can be any crypto. Also, she has some hoodies and keychains, ornaments, a lot of other stuff she can do. Just hit her up in the contact. She will let you know. All right, back with the video. So, looking at the weekly here, the same thing. This is on the COINBASE chart though, and I do have, we could move this line down to where we got support here, and we are getting support there. And actually, I'm going to keep that there for now because that's looking like the spot it needs to be. Now, let's hope we can close above this. If we can do that, I think we're looking very bullish. I know everybody's getting super bearish, calling for super low lows, which I'm not saying it's not possible, guys, but I'm saying that it doesn't have to happen. And we did hit this target pretty much dead on. And if we look at the Fibonacci retracement tool I have on here, I have it from the bottom, the low here, to the high here. We just wicked below the 0.65. And I had talked about that for, you know, the whole week, that we could get down here. And as long as we closed in this, or as long as we didn't go too far below this golden pocket zone, and that's between the 0.618 and 0.65, that I was feeling pretty good about it still. Let's look at the daily. Also, you can look here, the volume has been declining through this whole thing, so that shows me that this is a formation. I mean, we could, guys, believe it or not, we could shoot up here and come up all the way up to test this 9,400 again within the next week. But let's take a look at the daily first. See what we're looking at now. You can see I have some targets in here, and we'll zoom into the smaller time frame so you can see how I got them. And actually, let me get them off of this screen. What are we on? Daily. I'll get it off this screen so we don't have to look at them. Okay, so what I'm looking at now is, this was the target we had in there, which was the 0.65, and that was the 68.76. We did go below that. We wicked down to, it looks like, around the 67.80 range. And what I wanted to point out here in the daily, for all you bears, you might be enjoying this, but this is the 55 EMA looking to cross the 200. But you got to remember, we were getting the same thing right here. So could we get another move just like this? Definitely possible, guys. Today or tomorrow, we could shoot up and have a nice move up. Problem with that is leaving a gap down here. I know everybody thinks the gaps have to be filled. Although we have been filling them, I don't believe that we have to fill them. I think the CME being only open during, you know, weekly hours is ridiculous. Anyways, but we are getting a nice move up here right now. Let's see if it'll last. We'll talk. We will move into the RSI real quick. So I had this falling channel drawn in here, which we have opened and closed our dailies out of here. Now, the question is, are we going to come up and try to test this again? We'll look at it in the 4 hour. Let's go into the 4 hour RSI and see what that's telling us. All right, so in the 4 hour RSI, we could be heading back up to this range. What we could possibly be looking at here, guys, and I've drawn these in before and they've played out pretty well. Obviously, this is just an assumption right now, but we could be seeing, you know, come up here, come back down, and make a inverse head and shoulders there in the RSI. They're really powerful in the RSI, and if we can break back above this, it kind of looks like a falling broadening wedge. If we could break back above this in the 4 hour chart, guys, that would be pretty bullish. Let's go into the 4 hour price action and look at it in here. And like I said, we'll take a look at the 1 hour in a minute and show you what I'm looking at here. So anyway, the 4 hour looks pretty good right now. It's trying to make a move up, but as you can see, usually when we do that, we do continue down more further. If we did go down further, I have this trend line right here drawn off of these wicks, which, let me zoom in a little bit, which if we came straight back down from here, I would be looking for the 66.60 to hold. But we might just get a double bottom if we do come back down. But that's what I wanted to point out in the 4 hour, or in the 1 hour. Whoops. Let's look at the 1 hour here, and I'll show you what these targets I have in here are and why I have them. So the first one, I'm looking at this as like a bull flag. Remember, this is the hourly. This might be played out by the time I get this video out. But we would take the first measured move would be, if this was a bull flag, we would measure the whole flag pull here and bring it up to the breakout. And also, if you notice, the EMAs are turning up here, which can be pretty bullish. Now keep in mind, we could come back down, retest this before popping up. But the measured move off of that, guys, actually I'll move that up a little bit. It's going to be around the 78.50 range. Now, if you guys were going to trade this, the ideal trade would have been out of the breakout, or if it came back down to test this and jumped up. It's moving up pretty nicely now, but you would put your long in above this trend line and your stop loss just below it. That way you could risk a little money to gain possibly a lot. This target up here, this is the shorter target. In my opinion, this would be just a measurement of this wedge, the widest point of the wedge, and bringing it up here, and that gets us up to about the 74.33. That target is most likely to hit. Maybe get some resistance there. If we can break through and make that support, then I'd be looking for the 78.50 area, which is also confluent with this trading action over here. So, and that would also get us above the 7,700, guys, which would be pretty bullish. I don't want to see it get too far ahead of here, because I do think Monday, like I said, if the gaps do have to fill, we would have to come back down here before continuing up. So yeah, that's where I'm at with that. Like I said, if you guys want to start trading or dabbling in trading, I'll leave a Bybit tutorial up here. We're going to go into Litecoin and Ethereum here in a second, but I'll leave a Bybit tutorial up here. Check it out. If you sign up using my link, you get a $60 bonus. So if you make a deposit of, I think, 0.2 Bitcoin or 0.2, I think it's 0.2 Bitcoin, then they'll give you a $60 bonus for signing up. Also, there's a Prime XBT link down there that if you sign up using my link and my code down there, you will get a 35%. So if you were to deposit $1,000, you would get $350, you know, as a bonus, or $350. If you deposited $350, you get $100 as a bonus. So check it out. But anyway, this is what I'm looking at here. This is also confluent with the 55 EMA on the 1 hour, guys, and it does look like it's ready to crank up. We are passing the 7,300 as I'm making this video. Hopefully I get it out on time. Litecoin, we'll just take a look at that real quick. Litecoin, same thing. We hit our target over here at 43.65, which was off of this trend line. If we cannot break back above this 0.786, and that is around the 48.50 range, if we can't break above that and get support, we could be heading down lower, guys, all the way to possibly the 38.16. And I will show you how I got that here in a second. But let's look at this in the daily RSI. So in the daily RSI, we seem to be, and it's really weird whenever I move these. Sorry if that's making you dizzy, but see, depending on how I move these lines, where we're at in it. But I do have a rising channel here, and we have got support off the bottom twice, resistance off the top. So my guess here, by looking at the TA, would be we're going to come up and test the top of this line here, the bigger falling channel in yellow. If we break that, super bullish. Let's look at the 4 hour RSI. Whoops. Oh, 4 hour RSI. Same thing, we had a falling channel here. I drew this trend line from these peaks over here, which we have broken out of, which is pretty damn bullish. Only problem being, guys, that I see here is unless we break up with some strength, we are showing hidden bearish divergence here, which is a higher high in the RSI and a lower high in the price action. So, but that can be erased as long as we get up over the 48.78 range. So as you can see, I have this blue line drawn in here for forever now, or actually that's 0.786. Like I said, we got to get above that and get support. It's around 48.50. If we can get above that and get support, it's looking good for Litecoin. Yeah, and if we were able to do that, to get to the top of this falling channel here, let me move this over. Keep an eye on that, and this is in the 4 hour. If we do break out of that, guys, that's going to be really damn bullish. I don't think that's going to happen today, obviously. Like I said, this could be forming inverse head and shoulders, just like Bitcoin, where we come up here, come back down, and, you know, continue a move up. If we do break this, it's going to be bullish as hell. All right, let's look at Ethereum. Ethereum, here are my targets for Ethereum, and I wanted to point this out real quick. Looks like a falling channel here. We did get this, or not, I don't know if we got that target in there or not. We'll look in a second. Just in the longer term, I'm going to show you, if we were to break out up out of this falling wedge or falling channel, which could be next week. We'll see about that. Could be this weekend, but I highly doubt this weekend. But anyways, that'd be a measured move of 253. Now, if we came back down to retest the bottom of this channel, it's going to be around the 107. If we look at the RSI, we have this bigger falling channel here, and I did a measured move of this rising channel right here. And if we were to take that measure, move, and breakdown. It also coincides with the bottom of this falling channel, which would most likely get us down to this 107 area. Now let's look at the 4-hour RSI and see if that's telling us anything different. 4-hour RSI, we had this channel drawn in here, falling channel, which we broke out of, came back, and wouldn't you know it, just like in Litecoin and Bitcoin, it looks like a possible, like I said, possible. It's head and shoulders forming here, inverse head and shoulders. Very good chance of that happening, guys. Now let's look at, let's look at the 4-hour price action. Same thing, pretty much that's where I'm at, guys. I guess this is pretty much a no trade zone, but I would probably enter a long down here if we do get back down to this range. Let's see what happens today. Like I said, I don't want to see it go too high this weekend, but we will wait and see what happens. Let me go into the 1 hour, see if this is showing anything like Litecoin was. Yeah, it looks like we've had a breakout. Most likely, let's look for resistance around the 145 area on Ethereum. If we can break that, next stop will be around 168 in my opinion. Let's see, look at the RSI on the daily, and we're showing some divergence. Well, nope, not really. We're actually getting some higher highs. Well, not quite higher highs here, and higher highs in the RSI. Actually looks pretty good, guys. If we can break the 155, we're most likely headed up to around 168. That's going to be it for today. Thanks for tuning in. Definitely don't forget to subscribe by clicking the CryptoSavy logo above my head. I do daily updates every single day. Make sure you hit the notification bell to get you notified when I do post new videos. Smash those likes, guys. Leave your comments. Let me know what you think. Have a great day. I'm out.